Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is finally here. This is Mrdoctorwhofan13's Doctor Who DVD only collection. Now, this might be in multiple parts, but basically what I'm going to be doing in this video, I'm going to be showing you all my Doctor Who DVDs in order of era, of course, chronological order. And I'm going to be, it's going to be sort of like my reviews when I give an opinion on the episodes, but it's going to be really, really short and really brief, quick opinion. I'm going to be showing you what you get inside, but like, I'm not going to be going as in depth as I do in my reviews. So, yeah. So anyway, we're going to start from the very beginning with the William Hartnell era. So first up here, we've got the very, very, very first story of Doctor Who that I'm about to show you guys. It is, of course, Doctor Who and Unearthly Child from the William Hartnell years, 1963 through 66. I'm not going to bother with that stuff. But, yes, this is an Unearthly Child, the very, very first story of Doctor Who. This is a great story to start with. It does drag at times, I must admit. 4 episodes is a bit long for this, but you know, I can forgive it since it's the one that started it all. This is what you get inside. As you can see, it's only 1 disc long. So, yeah, so that is what started Doctor Who. And it's a very, very excellent story, if I say so myself. So, yeah, An Unearthly Child. Great, great start to Doctor Who. Sure, there's loads of Doctor Who stories now that are better than it, but yeah, it was very good for the start. Next up, we have the debut of Doctor Who's most infamous villains. The Daleks. Doctor Who the Daleks. Starring William Hartnell, of course. But, yeah. So, it's rated 12, this one, because there's one part where Ian says really quietly. There's one part of like strong language, but it's very mild. You can barely notice it. Ian, where they find out on the part where they find out they don't have the mercury, they have to go back for it. Ian says really quietly, "Shit." So yeah. Anyway, as you can see, it's only 1 disc long again. So yeah, this is a very, very excellent story. The Daleks. This is my favourite William Hartnell story so far, but I only have 4, so I'm obviously going to get more in the future. So, yeah, the Daleks. This is a very... I cut my hand. It's only a little cut. Anyway, this is a very, very great story. Great debut to the Daleks, who would immediately become Doctor Who's most popular villain. So, yeah, that is the Daleks. And third here we have the third Doctor Who story, of course. The Edge of Destruction, starring William Hartnell. So, yeah, so not too keen on this one, to be honest. I mean, inside we get, it's 1 disc long, so yeah, of course. Right, so The Edge of Destruction. Fortunately, it's a 2-parter, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. But to be honest, it's not bad. Definitely, it's just not that good. It does get boring. It's a nice little. It's a good thing it's a 2-parter, or else it'd be terrible. But yeah, it's not terrible, just not that good. So The Edge of Destruction didn't really do it for me. But oh well. And next up, the final story from the William Hartnell era we have is The Gunfighters, starring William Hartnell. So, yeah. So, this story is actually pretty underrated. As you can see, again, 1 disc story. It's a nice little 4-part adventure. Again, it's the one after the Celestial Toymaker, and this story was actually the last one until the new series, of course, where they actually gave stories, you know, like separate episodes of 1 story, separate names. For example, like An Unearthly Child, they named episode 1 of that, and An Unearthly Child on episode 2, The Caves of Skulls, blah blah blah. So, Yeah, the Gunfighters. Now, I actually think this is better than A Town Called Mercy, to be honest. Because, I don't know, it's just so action-packed, there's lots going on, it's really underrated. I don't understand why people don't praise this as much as they do the other William Hartnell stories. It's a great historical story. You need to watch it. Alright, so that's the very brief William Hartnell era. Yeah, I don't have many. But anyway, now we are moving on to the final Doctor to be in black and white, the Patrick Troughton era. And we're going to start out with the first story of Season 5, The Tomb of the Cybermen, starring Patrick Troughton. So, yeah, this is the special edition I have right here from Revisitations 3. As you can see, it's 2 discs long. You can see there, disc 2 and disc 1. So, yeah. So, wow, The Tomb of the Cybermen. This is actually a really excellent story. It's a classic, everyone knows it is. It's just a brilliant story. You know, Cybermen are really scary, and yeah. Now, I know a little bit of Doctor Who trivia here for you guys. You probably, all you big Whovians might already know about this, but Sophie Aldred, who plays Ace in the Sylvester McCoy era, she actually said that the moon base, I think it was, gave her nightmares, and that has, like, these types of Cybermen, and only these have higher pitched voices. So, yeah, Tomb of the Cybermen, that really good story that don't need to say much about it. It's a classic, everyone knows it is. Again, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself. Anyway, next up here we have The Invasion, starring Patrick Troughton. Wow, this is a great story. Probably my favourite from the Patrick Troughton era. It's 8 episodes long, but it actually only feels like 6 episodes. It is that good. Like, okay, so inside you get 2 discs here. The thing for this is a little, for this too, is a little broken, as you can see. But it was like that when I got it, so don't blame me, blame HMV. Oh wait, I forgot to put the booklet thing back inside. That was dumb. So, yeah, The Invasion. Episodes 1 and 4 are animated, of course. Really good animation, actually. So it doesn't ruin the whole experience. In fact, the reason they did that is because, you know, episodes 1 and 4 of this story are missing, so they had to. They're doing the same thing with the Reign of Terror and the Ice Warriors, so yeah, because a couple of episodes of them are lost. But anyway, next up we have another, of course, we are halfway through the Patrick Troughton stories. Yeah, like the William Hartnell stories, I only have 4 of them, but I'm going to get more. And also, not many of Patrick Troughton's have been recovered, so yeah. Anyway, moving on to the Seeds of Death, starring Patrick Troughton. So, yeah. So I'll just move this into the middle. So yeah, this is the special edition again from Revisitations 2. As you can see, it's 2 discs long, 2 discer. So, yeah, so The Seeds of Death. This is actually a pretty good story. I will admit, it does get dull at points, but, like, especially in episodes 1 and 2. But it's still a great story. Worth the watch, definitely. 6 episodes long. Would have been better as 4 episodes, but like the Armageddon Factor with Tom Baker, but it's alright. Still pretty good. Still pretty good. And next up here we have, of course, Patrick Troughton's last story, The War Games, starring Patrick Troughton. So, yeah. Now this story is actually really, really good. It's the classic, everyone knows it is again. It does get boring at times, but it's really, really good. Like, as you can see here, it's actually 3 discs long. Disc 1 has episodes 1, 2, to 5. Disc 2 has episodes 6 to 10, and Disc 3 has special features. So, yeah. I must have put a ton of special features on here. Well, actually, no, they didn't. Well, they did put enough, but they're all on Disc 3, just so you know, so Yeah, because this is 10 episodes long. That is a long watch. I was lucky I managed to watch all 10 on my first viewing. Same with The Invasion as well. I managed to watch all eight episodes of that on my first viewing. So, yeah. So, The War Games. Great story. Great end to the Patrick Troughton era. And also a great farewell to Jamie and Zoe. So, yeah. Anyway. Now we are moving on to the first Doctor to appear in colour, the Jon Pertwee era. And we're going to start out with Jon Pertwee's first story, Spearhead from Space, starring Jon Pertwee. Now, this is the special edition from the Mannequin Mania box set. Screw you. Stay there. Sorry about that. Anyway, this is the, like I said before, this is the special edition from the Mannequin Mania box set, and for some reason it only has one disc. So, yeah. Stay! Sorry, that was just... What was I saying again? Let's forget that ever happened. Anyway, so yes, Spearhead from Space. This is actually a good start to the Jon Pertwee era. It is overrated, like, it's not the classic everybody makes it out to be, but it is a good watch still, so, yeah, it is a really good watch. Definitely worth checking out. Starts at one of the in my opinion, the greatest Doctor out of all 11. Yes, I said it. So yeah, it's only one disc long though, I don't get that. Like, yeah, because it's a special edition, you expect it to be 2 discs at least, but no, it's 1 disc. Anyway, next up we have a story that I actually recently reviewed. You probably know what it is, because I reviewed a certain box set recently. It was my second review. Doctor Who and the Silurians. Yeah. So, anyway. Doctor Who and the Silurians, starring Jon Pertwee. So, yeah, Doctor Who and the Silurians. If you want to know more about my opinion on this, then go check out my review of the Beneath the Surface box set. Link to that will be in the description below. Anyway, so Doctor Who and the Silurians, in case you haven't seen my review of it, I'll just give you like a quick brief summary. I actually think this is a really good story. Like, Jon Pertwee's second story, great debut to the Silurians, and yeah, just really great story. I don't have much to say about it. I actually really don't want to say much about it because I want you to watch my review, but anyway, yeah, it's a 2-disc set, 2-discer, right there. So yeah, great story. If you want to know more about my opinion on this story, just check out my review. Again, link will be in the description. So, yeah. Anyway, next up we have the second and final classic only Autons story. Shame they didn't appear in more classic stories. Written by Robert Holmes, of course, the one who wrote the first one. The Terror of the Autons, starring Jon Pertwee. Wow, this is a great story. Great follow-up to Spearhead from Space. In my opinion, I want to say it's not as good as Spearhead from Space, but it's still great. Again, it's from the Mannequin Mania box set with Spearhead from Space, so yeah. It's a 1-disc long, again. Now, it's understandable for this because it isn't a special edition, but yeah, Terror of the Autons, again, another great story. Lots of great stories here from the Jon Pertwee era. So, yeah. Anyway, now we have my favourite Doctor Who story overall, to be honest. And here it comes. It is The Sea Devils, starring Jon Pertwee. Well, that was a fail. I meant for it to go in the middle. But, yeah, The Sea Devils. So, this is actually my favourite Doctor Who story for many reasons, which I'm not going to give much of my opinion on this again, because again, it's from the Beneath the Surface box set which I reviewed, so click on the link to find out my opinion on this story as well. So, yeah. It's 1 disc, unlike Doctor Who and the Silurians, so yeah, that's because on Doctor Who and the Silurians, on disc 1 it had episodes 1 to 4, and on this too it had episodes 5 to 7, and because it's in colour and it takes up more storage, they couldn't fit all 7 episodes onto one disc like they did with like the Daleks and stuff. So yeah, so the Sea Devils, best Doctor Who story ever, must watch, definitely. So yeah, we're halfway through the Jon Pertwee era now, so that means 4 down, 4 to go. And next up we have the 10th anniversary special with the return of William Hartnell, briefly, and Patrick Troughton. It is, of course, The Three Doctors, starring Jon Pertwee, Patrick Troughton, and William Hartnell. So, yeah. So, The Three Doctors, I actually think this is... It's boring at times, to be honest. I mean, Patrick Troughton's performance is really funny, is really good as a comeback, and the third Doctor and second Doctor fight is probably the highlight of the episode. And William Hartnell makes a great comeback as well, but I really wish he could have done more. But of course, because of his poor health, he couldn't do much but advice. Yeah, it's a 2-disc set, as you can see here, again. So, yeah, it's a special edition from Revisitations 3. Same box set as the Tomb of the Cybermen, of course. So, yeah, The Three Doctors. Great. Well, no, not great story. I mean, if you're a die-hard Whovian, you'll probably want to watch. You might want to try it, but I wouldn't recommend like starting out with it or anything. So, yeah. Next up, we have the follow-up to The Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, starring Jon Pertwee. So, yeah, Carnival of Monsters. Again, this is the special edition from Revisitations 2. Now, this story is actually pretty good. Granted, it's not the best Jon Pertwee story ever, but it's certainly more entertaining than the Three Doctors in my opinion, actually. Yes, I said it. And, of course, because it's from Revisitations and it's special edition, it has a 2-disc set. So, yeah. So, overall, Carnival Monsters, pretty nice story. I recommend checking it out. And now we are nearly done with the Jon Pertwee era. Next up, we have the debut of the Sontaran and Sarah Jane Smith in The Time Warrior, starring Jon Pertwee. So, yeah, the first of the 4 Sontaran stories in the classic series. The first of the Bred to War, the Sontaran collection box set. So, yeah, and I must say, this is a pretty good one. It's overrated, to be honest. I mean, it is good, but it's not as good as people say. Like, I honestly think there are tons of Doctor Who stories that are much better than this, but it's still alright. 1 disc, again, and the disc was upside down. So, yeah. So, that's a Time Warrior. Good but overrated. Like the end of time, good but overrated. And now we come to the end of the Jon Pertwee era with Jon Pertwee's final story, The Planet of the Spiders, starring Jon Pertwee. So, yeah, Planet of the Spiders. Now, I must say, this is actually a pretty good story, but it gets boring at times. It's like The Three Doctors, it's good, but it's overrated. So, yeah. It's a 2-disc set, so it's actually a really nice deal, because of the amount of special features you get on it. Again, 2 discs. What more could you want? So, yeah. So, Planet of the Spiders, if you're into the Jon Pertwee era and you're a die-hard Whovian, you might want to try this. I wouldn't recommend starting out with it or anything, but it's pretty good. So, we come to the end of the first 3 Doctors. So, I'm actually going to split this into separate parts. So, in part 1 of Mrdoctorwhofan13's Doctor Who DVD collection, we covered the William Hartnell era, the Patrick Troughton era, and the Jon Pertwee era. Join me in part 2 for the start of everyone's favourite Doctor, the Jelly Baby fan, Tom Baker era. So, we'll see you then.